Perth Glory pull off an unlikely draw against Auckland. The Matildas set for an unlikely Perth return, and Iran women's players seek asylum following their Asian Cup exit. Welcome to the Far Post Perth, powered by ID Athletic. Download the latest football catalogue, idathletic.com. Also, Trio Homes. If you're looking to build, redesign or renovate, triohomes.com.au. Blayne Treadgold is my name. Going around the table as always. Just stepping in the door, Neil Sherwin. Welcome back.
Yeah, I was filling my jerry cans and getting ready to trade toilet paper.
Jesus. Yep. Everyone's got a bit mad, haven't they? I mean, you end up paying like 20 cents more per tank.
Yeah. Not really. It's going to go up from like $2 to $2.50 close to on tomorrow. So
yeah.
And today's meant to be cheap Tuesday. It's normally about $1.50 or $1.60 a litre.
Yeah, so I was forced to get fuel yesterday. I was on vapors yesterday, so I had to sort that out. Yeah. Jaxon's with us. Jaxon Bassett, welcome back.
Always good to be here, Blayne.
Yes, good stuff, mate. Glory shirt from 2011, 2012, I believe.
Yep, spot on. Yep. Pretty good season. Although it didn't end in the fashion that we all wanted it to.
Shithoused it into the grand final from 4th or 5th, I think, that season. 3rd? No, it was lower than that, wasn't it?
11-12. I know we beat the Mariners in that penalty shootout in the semi, and then so close to sending into extra time until that diving cheat decided to go down.
I thought it was 4th or 5th. My memory's not great.
Nope, we finished 3rd. 43 points.
There you go. Well done.
I was there. Were you there?
Yeah, I was there. Yeah. Tin Billies.
Yeah, we were there. That was.
If you were there, you don't remember it. The old Tin Billies.
No, it doesn't exist anymore. Apparently.
No. That's a great night.
Great day. Caxton Street before
flying in from Brighton. That's
well, right. You were in the paper giving your sub story trying to get freebies. Fly me home for the game. Fuck off and pay your own way. No chance. But yeah, I went to Brisbane for a couple of days. Yeah, there's still photos that pop up every year when Glory post about it, and you can see a few fresh-faced people, including myself, and the crowd at Suncorp. Great weekend.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah. The only thing that ruined it was the football.
It was the football. Yeah, the football. Just like so many things, life's great until you think about the football. But that was an experience, and that shirt, is a throwback to that. Just reminds me of Liam Miller, that shirt.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, Billy Memmett. There's another name. Yeah.
It was right.
We had Travis Dodd, I
Andrew
think.
Zenio.
Don't remind me of that.
Neil's favourite player.
Never Dean Heffernan, Shane Smells with the bandage on the head.
Yeah, he got crunched, didn't he?
Yeah. It was a lot of them.
Good squad back then.
Antolidis, a few Warriors.
Baz Vandenbrink.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great shout. Good stuff. That voice that you can hear is James Renton. He's also with us. Welcome back.
Thank you, Blayne.
Yeah, no worries at all. Boys, plenty to talk about. Let's start around the table. Good, bad, ugly, Mr. Sherwin.
Good. I bang on about Wamata a lot, so I'm going to leave that one for this week. But another good goal from him. My good was James Delianov ruining what would have been a fairy tale goal for Lawrence Thomas. Everyone wants to see the goalkeeper score the goal, and I do like it too. The Jimmy Glasses of the world and keeper popping up with a goal, but this time somebody got their hand in the way of the fairy tale and pulled off a brilliant save to keep Newcastle at the top of the table and stretching their legs, because as it turns out, it was probably quite a I wouldn't say sliding doors moment, but it could have made the weekend a little bit different had Newcastle drawn and Auckland beaten Perth. They could have closed the gap considerably, but that 3 points for Newcastle at home against Western Sydney, was huge for them, as it turns out. And I just think that was a phenomenal save. We've seen some great goalkeeping this year, and that was that was earning his team points, and I thought it was great. So yeah, just a moment like that from the weekend where keeper's up, it's the 96th or 98th minute, whatever it is, ball goes in the box, keeper gets a great header on it. Thomas's header was brilliant, and everybody's ready to celebrate a goalkeeper goal, and this lad sticks his hand up and goes, not tonight.
I thought it was funny because it was the same week that I was just sitting there doom scrolling, and I can't even remember what year it was, but it was when Oliver Kahn went up with the big two-fister, and the
25 years ago it was, according to him.
Gave him a red card, and he goes, I thought I could touch the ball in the box. It was not the opposition box, you dickhead. But it was the same week as that. But no, you're 100% right.
It's just a good moment for me. Enjoyed it.
Very good. Jaxon?
We love an underdog story and a magical FA Cup run, and the team this year that's providing it is Port Vale.
Oh, John Brady.
Yeah, I thought you do love John Brady.
Sorry.
Bit of a John Brady fanboy over here.
Yep.
So much so that he did an article in pre-season talking about how magnificent he was and how the Glory should be headhunting him.
Yep.
And there are a couple of A-League links, Joe Gauci in goal with a clean sheet, and the goal that got them the win over Sunderland coming from the Wayne train, Ben Wayne, ex-Wellington striker. The league's not going so well for them. It looks like they're a certainty to go back down to League 2, but I mean, a win over Sunderland at home, this is what the FA Cup's all about. We love seeing these sorts of results and these sorts of surprises. And
far better than that Wrexham shite, isn't it?
Yeah, they were unlucky, Wrexham. But I think Port Vale now meet Chelsea in the quarter-final.
I think they're at home, though, if I'm not wrong, Port Vale.
I mean, that's good for them. It gives
Did
them
you see
more of a chance.
Did you see the celebration from Ben Wayne?
I did not. I did not.
Well, he's apparently a Newcastle fan, and he scored against Sunderland, and he did the old hand up like Alan Shearer style, right in front of the cop at Sunderland. So
not bad,
or in front of the fans there. So that got a bit of a mention on one of the outlets as well. So I like a bit of shithousery there. Renton, keep us rolling, mate.
Our meeting with Griff last week with the FRG.
Yes, we spoke about that.
Yeah, it was good. You know, we've been wanting to meet Griff, and obviously Stephen Peters will meet with him at some point this season. But, you know, since he sort of burst onto the scene with those press conferences and sort of like this an enigma character where it's like you don't know what you're going to get from him. It's like, oh, he'd be interesting to talk to. And that was a key focus for us. And the discussion that we had, I felt went really well. It was productive. We got to hear quite a fair bit from Griff. He was very open and generous with his answers. Particularly came alive when the conversation shifted towards football-based topics, and was, like I said, very open. And I think people entered the meet. We entered the meeting quite curious to hear more from him. It was only for an hour, and me personally, I would have loved to have heard a little bit more from him in depth. But I was still very grateful with what we got.
Just for the Perth Glory supporters, what were some of the themes discussed? I don't need to go into some nitty-gritties, but
every question and so pretty much all the key points we put out on our Facebook page. We wanted to hear from the fans, and that was something
Glory representative group, I think.
Yeah, the fan representative group for Perth Glory. We put that out on our Facebook. We wanted to hear from the fans, and that formulated our key talking points and questions that we sent to Griff. So youth development, the style of play, and the press conference interviews were probably three of the main key topics that we discussed with him. And all of those points, he was very open. He has a very clear plan for what he's wanting, let's say, in terms of youth development, and that's a key focus moving on to next season if he gets the job long term. Style of play, there was some good elaboration and detail brought to that. And like I said, he was very open and very genuine, and having spoken to a lot of the guys from the FRG afterwards, they were very happy with how the meeting went, and there's definitely a feeling like, well, if he does get an opportunity next season, that there'd be people that would be for it. Now, I can understand it's a little bit of lip service in a sense in terms of what he's saying in some instances, but it was good to get that sort of side of Griff that we haven't really seen publicly, obviously.
Sherwin's about to give you a grilling, mate.
That's right. I've got to ask the question that we will be asked. From people, the cynics out there, and I am part of Team Cynic.
Yes.
Yep.
Are these things just, is it just the club controlling the message? You know, in the sense of, you can talk to Griffiths this week, and then you can talk to someone else in a few weeks, and they will be briefed on what to say and what to give you, and the right answers to give you, so that you then take it away and post it. And because we often get accused of being in the club's pocket. Fuck that. I criticise them as much as I can. They're not paying me, so I can say what I like. But you guys are an official fan representative group. Like, you are tied to the club.
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, we can say whatever we want. They aren't going to do anything to us. What are they going to do? Take my pass away from me? Gareth wouldn't do that, would he? But, you know, there's no consequences. But for you guys, you are a representative of that is tied to the club.
Yeah.
So do you feel, and you may say no because you don't, but do you feel that the club is trying to control the message to the wider supporter group through you?
No, I don't think so. I mean, there's not really a sense of restriction in terms of, let's say, what we can ask, because the previous meeting that we had with key stakeholders was with Stan Lazaridis and Anthony Radic, and that was when we were informed that David got the arse and was sacked. And we had strong questions that we were going to ask, and there was no restriction from us at all from the club that was saying, please don't ask these questions. It was like, well, if you want to ask something, obviously, you know, be respectful towards it. But with Griff, at least, you know, I had lots of questions that I asked about style of play. Now, obviously, things relating towards signings that Griff isn't directly involved with. And so they were like, well, okay, you can't be asking about that. But in terms of everything else, there was let's say there was nothing that couldn't have been asked within reason, obviously.
Go back. So he's not directly... Are we talking about player signings? He's not directly...
as in, like, he can't control contracts, let's say. That's more of a domain that's related towards
But he
Stan.
gets a say in who and...
Yeah, but it was like the conversation would be better served if we talked more about matters that he does have a control over since he's contracted until
I find that
next
bizarre,
season.
though, that he doesn't have... Being the guy who is... is there to get the best
I'd imagine
out of individuals.
Yeah, I'd imagine he'd have a say, but he obviously can't give an answer if a player is staying or he probably couldn't go into a lot of detail in terms of why players left. One thing that he did mention that he was very keen for this whole... He didn't want people to be coming to the club with the idea of they're just here for a holiday in Perth.
Sure.
So there's a very key focus on wanting to build a winning mentality, and that's something that he's been very clear on in terms of getting those, due diligence and character evaluations of people that we want to bring into the club.
Were you satisfied with that? Was the group satisfied with the answers and the levels that the depths that they went into?
Yeah.
What was the purpose of it? Like, what were they hoping to get out of it?
To be honest, that probably wasn't something that we had a clear mission in terms of going into versus when we met with Stan and Rado.
I was just curious because, like, in terms of like what a coach is going to tell you, he's not going to reveal his whole game plan or who he's planning to sign in the off season or who he's had on his speed dial in the last week or two. You're not going to get that level. So I'm just curious as to is it to give more insight to Adam Griffiths, the coach, rather than the character?
Probably to give, I guess, more of an insight in as to who he is and what his role is, because with the FRG we're meeting with obviously key stakeholders. So obviously wasn't there last season, but they met with Stan, Rado, David Drillich and Stephen Peters, and I'm not sure if we met with any of the players or not, but it's about having that engagement with the fans and representatives from the clubs, ideally on a monthly basis. So,
and I guess it's not just to pick up Neil on that point, and as someone who's been involved in this and still is, it's not a one-way street. It needs it needs to be also the fans or the FRG on behalf of the fans saying, hey, this is what we expect. This is what we want to see. Not just drilling questions of who, what, where, when.
And we were led to in a large way by questions that fans had submitted towards us, be it in terms of questions that they had about the style of play, questions that they had about his persona within press conferences, or in other instances, what is the pathway for young West Australian players within our academy.
Just my last question on that. What would be the course of action from the FRG if you weren't happy with the answers that you heard?
That's probably a question best served for our chairperson, Kim.
Get him on. Get him on. I want answers.
As someone who knows Kim quite well, she'd have a framework somewhere in
just genuinely, because if you are the conduit between us, so if the supporters bring questions to you, you bring the questions to the whoever the panelists, and then they come back and they give you wishy-washy shit, and you're going, that really doesn't answer the question.
Is it their job? Is it their job?
That's what I'm asking. Yeah, what
to say
happens?
that, or is it their job to pass on the wishy-washy
That's what I'm asking.
shit?
Do you publish a post and go, these were the answers, and then all hell breaks loose on the Facebook page, or do you say we weren't too enamored with the responses? Here's what they were. Maybe it's a question for another day, but I'm just because there are people, and I've seen the comments, and they're the usual suspects who've pointed out and gone, what's the point of this group? And they're just there to be lip service for the club and all of that. So if there's any myth busting or anything like that, but I'm just curious.
No, that's fair. Yeah.
If there's no answers, no answers.
Interesting. Good topic, boys. Good chat. Good chat. My good boys, I'm going to get very, very local. I IMC'd the State League Night Series final on the weekend. Florida Athena. I know we spoke about that State League 1, but they looked good in that final. Really, really good. Easily accounted for Inglewood United, who many people think are probably going to be in that conversation for promotion as well. Alan Vanells has done a fantastic job with that team. I expect them, based on that very, very small sample size, to come straight back up. So,
that's the
really good occasion.
That's the plan, right? So it's a sort of a winner bust scenario based on what we've seen.
Correct.
Because Inglewood went down and didn't get back up first time round, and it can be a league that can suck you in. You talk about the championship in England and whatnot, that it can be a tough league to get out of. Mandurah tried for years to get out of it.
Got relegated twice.
Well, Mandurah missed in the playoffs a couple of times to try to get to the NPL, right? And in maybe 3 years in a row, they either came close and didn't get up. And now Inglewood and Florida probably just don't want to get stuck into that.
You've got to bounce. You've got to come straight back.
And yeah, they've set themselves up very well.
Similar
for
to
it.
a Sterling or a Sorrento.
Yeah, you can't afford to stay down there too long.
No, because what happens, you end up losing your juniors, and you end up losing your assembly line of that next crop that's actually going to come up and fill your stocks. So you get yourself into a really, and I think it looks like that's been identified. They've gone for Alan Fennells as a tried and tested coach at that level. He's done some big recruitment. They've got some really good imports in there from Scandinavia, from the UK, from done some really good scouting there.
And then it becomes interesting how you balance that next year with the restrictions if you do get promoted to the NPL and whatnot.
Just another good point on the weekend to get a bit self-indulgent with my Zuri boys. Fantastic initiative when they brought back the 2016 double winning side on the weekend. There's some great names there. Clark Kelty, Francis Sawale, and just the importance of having these guys who have, no matter whether it's Azuri or anyone else, have contributed massively to these clubs and keeping them in the fold and celebrating these moments. I thought that was really good. So
brings about a good community feel.
Exactly right. Exactly right. So that was my goods for the last week or so. Neil, what's been bad?
Scenes that nobody likes to see, but everyone loves to see at the same time. The Cruzeiro and Atletico Mineiro.
We're going this way. I wasn't sure which way we were going with this.
Yeah, no, I've got another one for my ugly as well. I wasn't sure if this is bad or ugly, but it was bad because bad things happened. 23 players were sent off. That's bad.
Yes.
But jeez, it was great watching the video, wasn't it? Like it's just an innocuous foul on the goalkeeper. Bit of hugging, bit of rolling around, and then
Bushka.
All hell broke loose.
Yeah.
Hulk running in with a haymaker at someone. So some photos of the lads afterwards with golf balls at the side of their heads and cuts and bruises and
returning to training the next day as well. I think
bits. But the Brazilians are crazy. Like you see your little handbags and stuff in other leagues, and then Brazil just it's all in, one in, all in, and they were all in doing everything. So I mean it's rivalry, it's all of this, but and passion and spilling over. It was a close game. It was 1-0, I think, at the time, in injury time when it happened. And, I mean, it was fair play to whoever totted up the red cards because it was only some of the players on the pitch and then a load of the ones off the bench who came running in. I don't really pay too much attention to the Brazilian League unless something like this happens. Yeah. But I'll probably look at the next team sheets to see if it's filled with lads off the streets. To be fair, they'll probably go down to Copacabana and grab a few people.
And they'll be just as good because it's Brazil. Yeah.
But 23 players sent off. I watched the video twice.
But it's another level, South America. I saw a video the other day. Someone sent me a video the other day in Argentina, and it was an under-5s futsal match final, and they literally had ultras there with flares welcoming the side out. The under-5s.
Get them used to it early. They can deal with the pressure. You'll see them blazing the penalty over the pressure in front of the crowd. No, they'll be well used to it.
No, very good. Yeah. Jaxon, keep us rolling, mate. What's been not so good?
Whoever did the pre-match lineup graphics for the Glory had an absolute stinker on the weekend.
Probably lost their job.
Funniest thing about it was I've got a Glory group chat with a couple of friends of mine, and one of them messaged and said, "Did you catch the?" Because the first thing he noticed was Bozanovsky listed at.
That was the first thing I noticed as well. I was like, wait a minute.
And then I went back on Paramount and grabbed a screenshot of it.
Yeah.
And then it was only like half an hour later where I looked down and realised that Wooden had been listed as the Perth Glory captain. And then Gabriel Popovi, the new signing as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, whoever did that, they must have had a big night out.
I did.
The night before.
The reason I noticed the Bozanovsky thing is because I was listening to them talk through the Glory lineup, and they were basically trying to avoid it because they must have had the graphic on at the same time and known that Bozanovsky does not play for them anymore. So they pretty much talked about the formation, the players, and they named a load of the players, just ignoring this elephant on the right hand side that shouldn't be there.
Was Piney on comms?
No, it was an Irish name, Seamus something.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
It wasn't the usual New Zealand commentary crew.
The Kiwi comms. No, and it was Paul Eiffel. It was and Ollie Sale was the Ollie Sale Derby was in there. It was on halftime duty doing some punditry in a white, very very white shirt.
Yeah, right.
Wow. Yeah, he was on the house. I almost got a screen grab for that just for for old time's sake. Salute to Ollie.
Renton, keep us rolling, mate.
Maybe a little controversial, but I thought the Matildas' performance against South Korea left a lot to be desired.
Not controversial at all.
It was poor.
A bit shit.
Yeah, it was very shit.
Not for the first time in the tournament.
No. I was watching it with my family, and they don't all watch football, and I think my mum was like, "Oh, what does the coach look homeless or something?" Put a suit on. But yeah, it was poor. It was poor in terms of it's a must-win game. We'd stuffed up against the Philippines by not putting more on the scoreboard when we really should have.
Yeah.
This was always going to be a test for us defensively when Iran and the Philippines, I think they had a combined total of like maybe 3 or 4 shots each. So it was going to be a question of, could we be ruthless when we had the ball? Could we play well? And South Korea executed a very good game plan, and their coach spoke about it afterwards, in that he felt the Matilda centre-backs were vulnerable, and just how we approached our defending for the first goal that they scored. Just poor from Heatley with a poor touch. It's like, it's a big...
They didn't look comfortable. There's some really...
No.
Was it just me, or was that pitch a bit stodgy? It looked okay, but I mean, the ball wasn't zipping.
You're looking for excuses?
No, not at all. Not at all. I thought it was stodgy for both teams,
Perhaps,
and I think the Koreans dealt with it the best.
I
think they...
I just felt we lacked a lot of bravery on the ball. And just, we're expecting from...
But there was just some simple passes that were like short and...
Yep, but we couldn't demonstrate our technical superiority to what should be a South Korean side, where you've got a front three for the Matildas that have all got Super League players in Kerr, Fowler and Ford. It's like you should be expecting them to impose their quality on the game, yet I felt we didn't offer anywhere near enough.
They were super disciplined as well, the Koreans.
Yep.
Like, there was some real frustrations for the Matildas.
Yep. And you could see that with Ellie Carpenter, on
Caitlin Ford on the keeper.
Yeah. But it's just...
She could have got sent, like seriously sent for that.
Probably, yeah. But it's just, we need to see more from this team on the ball, because they're definitely more than capable of doing so. But, if this is how they're going to play against North Korea, have we got the game, is it Friday or Saturday?
Friday at HBF Park, yep.
Yeah, well, we'll see if they're up for the challenge.
Yep, very good. My bad. We've mentioned it before, but none of this is going away, and it's just more issues around the World Cup. Countries failing to get visas for certain host countries. We've got the situation with the playoffs. Is Iran in? Are they out? What's happening with Graham Arnold's side, Iraq? There's just, it's this close to a World Cup is terrible. So just plenty of unknowns about how that all plays out.
I don't think you'll really know until
regard.
Pretty much a couple of weeks beforehand, which obviously messes potentially with people's travel plans and holidays and everything else that comes with it. It's easy for us. We're just watching it from afar. But if you're going, you'd have cause for concern.
But if you don't know which sides are even playing yet,
I think they'll all end up playing. I don't think there'll be any disruptions to the teams that are going to be there.
Yeah,
just putting it out there.
Interesting.
I think they'll feel the team.
Yeah.
Every country that's represented. I mean, look, don't get me wrong. If one of them happens to bomb out and Ireland get a place, these are just the things that we have to live with. If Ireland don't make it through the playoffs next week, but I don't think there'll be a situation.
Who have they got?
First up, Czech Republic. They got to play 2 games.
Yeah. Okay.
And we crossed the following bridge. One of them is Denmark, who we have a bad record against. It's the other qualifier, but it's the Czechs up first over there, and then the second game, if they win, it's so shitty, right? If you win the first game, you play a second playoff.
Yeah.
If you lose the first game, you play the other loser in a friendly.
Where are they being held?
The Czechs is away, so in Czech Republic.
Yeah.
And then if Ireland win that, they're the home team in Dublin. So it was done by a draw a few months ago. So they'll host the other team in the other playoff.
Is that at Croke Park?
No,
Where do they
the
play?
Aviva.
The Aviva.
I'll
Get them all mixed up.
Yeah.
I get them all mixed up.
Okay.
Keep us rolling,
All right,
mate. What's been ugly?
So we often get asked, and it comes through by message at times, to talk about the Scottish League. And well, you wanted to talk about it. I don't talk about it because I don't watch it, because I don't care for it. I watch the Premier League, I watch the League of Ireland, and I watch the A-League. That is all I have capacity for, and maybe a bit of MLS because of the time difference. I came home from Pendulum on a Sunday night, and it just happened to be extra time in the cup game between Rangers and Celtic.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, I'll sit down and I'll watch this because it's 0-0. It didn't look the greatest of games, so my hopes were high for a penalty shootout. And there's nothing more I hate in football when somebody scores at the end of extra time and ruins a penalty shootout.
As a neutral.
I want penalties. So we got penalties. It was great fun. Rangers Sky 2 over the bar. Celtic won. I don't have a skin in the game. I don't care who won the game. But then afterwards, the ugly was the scenes. Again, scenes nobody likes to see, but everybody is glued to the screen as the Rangers fans in balaclavas,
Spider-Man masks.
The pitch. Yeah, well, yeah, they were Rangers themed ultra masks. Yeah. Now the Celtic fans came onto the pitch first to celebrate. The Rangers fans came from the far end. There was police in the middle. There was lads lobbing flares into it. There was someone attacked the Celtic coaching staff. There was words exchanged with players down the tunnel. So yeah, ugly scenes, and because the reason it's a topic is because there had been a ban on away allocations for these games, and Celtic had a massive crowd in for this one. The whole end behind the goal was back to what it used to be. So I think there might be a bit of a rethink on how that looks for future games between the two, because I can imagine there'll be some sort of fines and whatnot for failing to control supporters or something.
How far does this go? I mean, are we talking about away fan bans?
Well, it might just go back to what it was, which was they had reduced the allocation.
But surely, based on this, it has to go further than that. I mean, this is as bad as we've seen in a long, long, long time.
It was a massive win because I think it was the first time since the 1950s. Yeah, so that Celtic had won a cup game at Ibrox. Was
cup
it?
Game at Ibrox.
So it doesn't happen very often, and they took every opportunity to rub it in with the songs and everything else as you do.
Yeah.
Rangers fans naturally took offence to that and decided to, you're not doing that in our territory. And it kicked off. But yeah, I mean, there'll probably be repercussions. I know some of the other clubs in Scotland are either looking or have reduced the away allocations for Celtic and Rangers fans and use that as an opportunity to have less of them at their games. Hearts are still stretching their legs at the top of the league, and it'd be a massive achievement if someone other than either Celtic or Rangers was to win the league. And to be honest, again, I don't have a skin in the game, so it would be cool to see Hearts win it, but I feel I know I joked about it, but I do feel bad about talking about the league only because of a shit show that happened after a game, because that's what we don't like when people talk about the A-League, right? You only talk about the hooligans. But it was my ugly. I brought it to the table, so all abuse can be directed.
Well, I mean, just to give it the other side, there's some. I'm just having a bit of a look now. Is it Dunfermline and one of the other like smaller kind of clubs have made it through, so there's a little bit of a cup run happening in that regard.
You eliminate one of the old firm teams in the quarterfinal.
Falkirk. Falkirk will play Dunfermline and Celtic will play St Mirren.
Yeah, so you eliminate one of the old firm in the quarterfinals. It absolutely opens up a pathway.
Yeah. For the other clubs. It feels like they play about 50 cups up there every year. But this is one, that will not feature the two of them. And the game, it wasn't great from the 40 minutes or so that I saw of it. But I was about to go to bed. I just wanted to see what the reaction was after, because the lad who stepped up and skied the second penalty, I looked at him and said, he is not scoring. He was terrified. Yeah. And
he blazed it over the bar, and then Celtic won. So I kind of wanted to see if somebody would give the two fingers, and there might be something, a bit of back, a little bit, few gestures.
The player that scored the winner kind of gave it to a little bit at that home end, didn't he?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, yeah. But sure, full Steph Kolakovsky, right?
Yeah, true.
Take your opportunity when you get it.
Yeah. Jaxon, keep us rolling.
I had the Brazilian fist fight as my ugly for this week. I do find it very ironic that the South American countries, probably their players do the most rolling around on the pitch, but they get into the most violent scraps you've ever seen in your life. So
standard procedure.
Yeah, and apparently we get accused of not focusing on leagues other than the Premier League and the A-League, as Neil kind of alluded to. So I thought that was kind of like the perfect opportunity to slip in a bit of Brazilian football, because that whole thing was insane. Although it's still miles short of the official record, which is in an Argentinian 5th division game where 36 players got sent off, probably for a similar mass brawl melee between those two. Probably, I guess in 5th division is probably more like the amateur leagues.
Can you get 36 players sent though? I mean, how many have you got on the bench?
Well, you got coaching staff too.
Well, I was going to say, there must have been coaching staff and Jesus, everyone.
There you go. All in brawl, WrestleMania.
Yep. Keep us rolling, mate.
I have two.
Go on then.
Either the North Koreans and their antics for when the Chinese scored their second just before halftime, Wang Shuang. So they obviously sprung the offside trap, and it looked to be a somewhat contentious decision, but the North Koreans obviously weren't happy with it, remonstrating with the referee and causing that delay in it scenes that you don't want to see. Or you could look at India, whatever the hell that performance was against Japan.
Yeah.
11-0 loss, 5-0 at halftime. You want to. I think what's been disappointing for me in the Asian Cup has been the level of blowouts that we have seen, and it's been particularly in the Matildas group where you've just seen one side, be it the Matildas or the South Koreans, who've been playing some really good football against really uncompetitive opposition, and it would have been nice to have seen those sides offer a little bit more and just to help grow women's football. But when you're seeing blowout scorelines like we did between Japan and India. It just puts a bit of a dampener on the tournament itself, because I'm sure that it'd be good to have stadiums at a reasonable level. I know it's not an ideal time to be having a tournament, particularly here in Australia, but it's just a shame. Just a shame for me.
I think the two issues there is that there's a massive gulf between like the top 5 or 6
Correct.
countries,
Yeah,
and then having 2 of the third place teams going through. The incentive for those teams going in is, let's just park the bus and let's just keep our goal difference down, because that's going to be the difference. And I'm pretty sure that ended up being the difference between who's going through to the quarters and who's getting knocked out.
Yeah.
So who we've got? Well, obviously, while we're talking Asian Cup, just very, very quickly, Australia will play North Korea at HBF Park on Friday. China will play, what's that, 2C will be...
Chinese Taipei,
yep. Who else have we got here? We have got Korea will play...
I think the two...
You might have it there a bit easier, mate.
I think the 2 third-place teams that are going through are the Philippines and Uzbekistan.
Okay.
Because they had -2 goal difference and 3 points. And then Vietnam had -4 goal difference and 3 points. So, that goal difference ended up being the difference. I don't think it's been determined who's playing who yet.
Okay.
It's only the Matildas. I think they've got an official time. Is that right? Just now, or
I think the Matildas and I think one of the other games has an official.
Do you reckon?
time as well.
Do you reckon finishing second's a little bit of a blessing in disguise, considering you won't play Korea or Japan unless you meet in the final now?
I mean, I think Japan's probably the main one. Based on what I've seen from them, they've been the major standout team of the comp. So, maybe it is a blessing in disguise. And I think for all of us here being West Australian, Perth-based, it's 2 home games. It's very nice for us to get 2 extra games over here.
Yep.
And I don't know, that might provide a bit of a spark.
Well, Japan, 17 goals scored, 0 conceded.
Yeah, right.
They're going to be an almighty challenge if we eventually face them.
All right, we'll look forward to that. We're going to take a quick break here on the Far Post Perth podcast. We'll chat a bit of glory next.
Tired of the same old cookie-cutter home designs? Dreaming of a space that truly reflects you? Then it's time to talk to the team at Trio Homes. Whether you're looking to build your dream home, redesign your current space, or simply renovate, Trio Homes is committed to unique designs, local personalised service and quality workmanship. And with former Perth Glory star Dino Julbich at the helm, you'll know you're getting passion and dedication built into every project. Discover the difference with Trio Homes. Visit triohomes.com.au.
What a run! This could be the one! It's in! That's what it's all about! And when it comes to sports gear that helps you perform your best, ID Athletic has the winning formula. From grassroots clubs to elite athletes, ID Athletic provides high-quality sporting apparel, screen printing, embroidery, and made-to-order promotional products. Proud sponsors of the Far Post Perth and passionate supporters of WA community sport. Visit ID Athletic at 84 Howe Street, Osborne Park, or online at idathletic.com. ID Athletic. Build your identity.
Welcome back to the Far Post Perth podcast. Lads, a good result, shall we say, for the Glory 2-2 with Auckland. I said on social media, is there a little bit of a feeling that it might be 2 points dropped considering the way the game played out? But Renton, I'll go to you, mate. What did you make of it all?
Look, I was shitting bricks after the first 10 minutes, like probably everyone was, and maybe even extending that to the first 20 because Auckland obviously scored some sloppy defending, and then Griff was quite audible on the sound effects mic as the players were kicking off, blocked the effing shot. So had a bit of a chuckle there. But afterwards, in like the 19th all the way to the 21st minute, there were some pretty big chances that Auckland had that they really should have put away, and a little bit later on, if Guillermo May wasn't so one-dimensional and played in Jesse Randall, then that was another opportunity that they could have had. So we definitely rode our luck. We did well to get ahead in the second half, but I just think where it all falls down is that you look at Auckland and the players that they have and how they're coached versus what Adam Griffiths has or had in this game at his disposal. I think you probably would take a 2-2 draw, all things considered, because I don't think there was really many other alternatives for him in terms of shifting the magnets, because we ended up seeing it towards the end of the game where Josh Risen was playing centre mid, you had Labib playing left wing, and then you had a front two of Anthony Didalitza, who made his debut, and Adam Taggart, which obviously isn't ideal versus what Auckland had off the bench in Verstrata, Bremer, and Lockie Brook. So, I just think Auckland, they clearly dominated territory. I thought we were pretty poor with our defensive intensity off the ball, but you take a 2-2 draw, and it just sets up what it is definitely a must-win game against Wellington this week.
I didn't see too much of this. I had a very grumpy little girl that I had to take for a walk to try and get her to sleep at that time. But I was watching a little bit on the phone, and then I was watching our group chat, and Neil basically said after about 10 minutes, game over when Cosgrove got the first. But they managed to get themselves back into it.
Yeah, I mean, the lead into the game, there was no reason to expect Glory to get a result other than they've been a bogey team for Auckland, which counts for fuck all in isolation. And they conceded another early goal where there was no pressure on the attacker. Good finish, but you throw your hands up and go. And I did expect it to go, and it possibly should have. They rode their luck for quite a bit after that. Auckland were the better team, but that goal was very much against the run of play. It was their first effort on target in 2.5 games. They scored through Caltech's header, they actually did grow into the game there after that. Luke Tevere had 2 assists. I thought his pass for the second goal was fantastic. A good finish from Kolakovsky, which is what we need more of. His goal record's actually pretty good considering the amount of games and minutes he's played. But then switch off like 3 minutes later. And I know that there was a bit of VAR contention around that and all of it. But, again, pressure on the cross, pressure on the ball into the box, just lacking that little bit of intensity. And to James's point, it was square pegs, round holes for the last few minutes with whatever resources were available. But they ground at a point. And, in isolation, again, it's a good point. It's a way to Auckland, a top side, who badly needed a win, who threw everything at it in the last few minutes to try keep pace with the Jets. But like the Brisbane game the week before, a draw is no good. It really isn't. No. It serves no purpose other than to make ourselves feel good that we drew with Auckland. But it does nothing for the season. And I don't even think this weekend's game is make or break. I don't even think winning against Wellington puts them back in the picture, given the teams that are above them.
Yeah, and they've got too much of a buffer as well, to be honest, the teams that are ahead of us. Our goal difference is in the shit big time.
Yeah, so I guess just to paint a picture for everyone, Perth Glory currently sits in 10th on 22 points, a -8 goal difference, having played one more than 6th placed Central Coast, who sits on 26 points and is on an all-square goal difference. So it just goes to show that as much as they might huff and puff towards the end, Jaxon, it all might be too little too late.
Yeah, 100%. Can't really disagree with that. I think there's still a very faint glimmer of hope.
It's flickering.
They really need to go on a miracle kind of run. A couple more losses or draws, and it's all over. Like this week and against Melbourne City at home.
Yeah,
really got to be winning those two. If they can't, they walk away with less than 4 points from those two games, it's probably all done.
I think they need 6. They need 6.
Yeah, definitely.
I think our run home is a little bit easier than some of the teams above us, but yeah, I think it is going to be too little too late. I think the mindset was, I think the determination of the squad was pretty good. I think after that first 10, 15, 20 minutes, they definitely could have dropped heads and gone into their shells. I think Adam Griffiths spoke about that post the Newcastle game, that once they concede a couple of goals, confidence drops, and then it all just goes to shit. So I think it was quite nice to see them really rally and then get that equaliser and then even go ahead, but concede, almost straight afterwards was disappointing. And looking at the stats, probably lucky to get away with a point from Auckland is pretty good. You'll take it, but as we've alluded to before, they need wins. Wins need to start coming.
Just having a bit of a look at this ladder, and I was surprised to see Melbourne City as low as they are.
Yeah,
they've having a shocking season as far as the league goes. They're actually in action tonight in their to make the quarter-final of the Asian Champions League, which is a hell of an achievement. I think the last team to do that was maybe the Wanderers.
That would be right. In the Asian Champions League,
But they're sitting on the same amount of points and only one goal better than Perth at the moment. So, I mean, they've had a shocking season, but they have got a game in hand between them and the Central Coast. So,
can I just make a point on the Mariners? Because when we beat them 3-0 early on this year, they were last on the ladder after that round. They've since gone on a 7-game undefeated run. Meanwhile, look at our form.
They've turned it around.
The Nathaniel Blair effect.
Potentially.
Got 2 players sent off and scored a goal in that game. We still can't figure out why it was played last Wednesday.
Yeah. How did you go on that?
I still can't figure out what it was played last Wednesday. I did watch it though. I was like, I'm going to watch this, and somebody better tell me on the commentary why it's on.
And nobody did.
Nobody did. But it was an interesting game with the red cards and Blair's cameo off the bench. But they're sitting, they're doing well. They're 7-5-7 in terms of wins, draws, and losses, and
stuffing all our predictions is what they're doing.
Even goal difference.
Yep.
I mean, there's only really that 6th spot to play for, because I think the top 5 are
29 points. Is
5 teams that are streets ahead of the rest.
Yep. No, I totally agree. Who takes that last spot? At the moment, I think it is Central Coast. MacArthur's 2 up and down. Brisbane's 2 up and down. Melbourne's too far away. They have to beat the Mariners and then go on with it. Perth, I don't think so. Wellington's out of it and Western Sydney's out of it. So, and
that was probably the disappointing thing for the Auckland game, because it's like, while there was some good defensive resilience, I hate games where we are pinned back in our own half, and then when we are on the ball, we then can't dictate it and then really challenge teams. So if Griff gets the job next season, for me, one of the key priorities for me is how do we improve our ball movement? Because Auckland had so many ways that they could move the ball against us and cause problems, mostly through their left-hand side, through Francis De Vries and Guillermo May making runs here and there. But we just need more weapons to how we move the ball, and ideally that comes through your best players being fit and available, or we need to go and sign some players that can help us move the ball at the pitch better.
Elsewhere across the weekend, Friday night, Adelaide 1, Wellington 1. Saturday saw Newcastle beat Western Sydney 2-1. Good Big Blue. We mentioned that off the top a little bit. 2-2 between Sydney and Melbourne victory, and a 2-2, of course, as mentioned, Auckland and Perth. Boys, anything else to mention about the week that was in the A-League?
I thought the Sydney and victory game was, while the quality wasn't amazing at times, it was a captivating watch.
Yeah.
Victory going 2-0 up, Mata doing his bit again, but then Sydney finding something in the tank and pulling it back, and there was chances at either end towards the death of the game. It was end to end, bit of chaos ball at times, and just an exciting watch. I thought it was a very entertaining 2-2 draw, and it was one of the many entertaining games across the weekend. It's fair to say there was goals in every game, and there is a lot to play for. Teams chasing final spots and titles and all of that. So I think it lived up to what we'd hoped. In terms of those games, that game Sydney victory had something on it, and it felt like there was with the way that it played out. So very entertaining game.
Good stuff. We might have a break. We'll come back on the other side. We'll look ahead to a big weekend. You're on the Far Post Perth podcast.
Tired of the same old cookie cutter home designs? Dreaming of a space that truly reflects you? Then it's time to talk to the team at Trio Homes. Whether you're looking to build your dream home, redesign your current space, or simply renovate, Trio Homes is committed to unique designs, local personalised service and quality workmanship. And with former Perth Glory star Dino Julbich at the helm, you'll know you're getting passion and dedication built into every project. Discover the difference with Trio Homes. Visit triohomes.com.au.
What a run! This could be the one! It's in! That's what it's all about! And when it comes to sports gear that helps you perform your best, ID Athletic has the winning formula. From grassroots clubs to elite athletes, ID Athletic provides high-quality sporting apparel, screen printing, embroidery, and made-to-order promotional products. Proud sponsors of the Far Post Perth and passionate supporters of WA community sport. Visit ID Athletic at 84 Howe Street, Osborne Park, or online at idathletic.com. ID Athletic. Build your identity.
Third and final part of the Far Post Perth. Jaxon, you've been all across what's been happening in the Asian Cup. We did mention it a little bit earlier on, but Matilda's at home, HBF Park on Friday night. I am so glad this isn't at Optus. I was so happy that I got myself a shed ticket and looking forward to it.
Yeah, you are. A lot of other people are not happy, but anyway.
No, I'm stoked. I mean, let's be purely honest. It is a much better product at HBF Park.
It is, and you've got people saying, can we not just switch it to Optus now to Matilda's? That's
No, we
not
can't.
how tournaments work.
No.
That's not how it happens.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Well, I think you've got, if we win on Friday, then we'll play at Optus on Tuesday
Correct.
in the semi-finals. So I think that negates the argument there. And I do agree, like having 20,000 at HBF.
It's going to be raucous. It's going to be great.
It's going to be better. The atmosphere will be better than it was for the 44,000
Yep.
and all the Mexican wave that was going on in the
Blayne's bringing
the
this
first
Mexican
game
wave
against
on
the
Friday.
Neil, he's like that meme with the kid with the vein popping out its head.
Yeah, they'll be back on
I'll
Friday.
do a quick wrap of the last results from the match day. So the Philippines beat Iran 2-0. And then obviously we had the 3-3 draw with South Korea. Monday night at HBF Park, Uzbekistan 4-0 over Bangladesh. And, I think that Uzbekistan and Philippines results definitely were the ones that got them through to the next round. So definitely, at least there was a bit riding on the last match day for those couple of teams. China got the win over North Korea, which is why we're going to be playing North Korea in that quarterfinal. Chinese Taipei beat India, and then Japan were convincing and brilliant against Vietnam at HBF Park, winning 4-0. Yeah, I think they are definitely the standout team at the moment, and they should be the clear favourites to win the whole thing.
Very good. Also returning this week after a bit of an international break is the A-League Women's. Perth Glory up against Adelaide. I've just been informed it's going to be a standalone at Cooper's, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, Cooper's like great venue.
Yep.
It's nice to see that it's not like a double header where there's going to be like a little conflict, I guess, or having these standalone games is nice. Hopefully the Adelaide turnout is quite good.
Yep.
Because I think that pitch and that venue is absolutely fantastic. In a good spot, the Glory, sitting in the top 6 with 4 games to go, playing opposition who are pretty much around them. Away form has been a bit shaky, but they did have that good win over the Jets in Newcastle the last time out. So he's hoping that after a couple of weeks off, they're feeling refreshed and they can attack the last 4 games with real vigour and go and take one of those final spots.
Opportunity to get a bit of separation between us and Melbourne Victory.
Yep.
They've obviously played a game more. We're currently a point ahead of them, so it'd be great if we can get a win against Adelaide. Won't be easy though. They've obviously been one of the better sides this season, but great challenge for the players.
Yeah, especially after a break, you just never know what might eventuate. So, big opportunity there. I've seen Stephen Peters out and about and over the last week or so, which has been good. Boys, while we're talking about women's football more locally, NPL WA Women's Night Series final will be this week. The semis played out across last weekend. Perth Azuri getting a 3-2 win over Red Star. And Balcatta beat Fremantle 2-1. So it will be Balcatta will take on Azuri up at Persador Reserves in Sorrento. That is all happening on Sunday evening. So looking forward to that. If you live up in the northern suburbs, get out and support that. In the NPL men's across the weekend, Bayswater beat Armidale 2-0. Perth drew with Perth Glory 2-2. 0-0 between Perth Red Star and Olympic Kingsway. Good result that for Red Star, I think. A 3-1 win for Western Knights over Dianella, a 3-0 win for Stirling over Sorrento, and a 4-3 win in a bit of a classic of Fremantle City over Balcatta in the Sicilian Cup. This weekend, Perth will play Armidale. Balcatta will host Olympic. Stirling will host Perth Glory. Western Knights will host Fremantle City. Sorrento will host Dianella. And Perth Red Star will host Bayswater City. Any thoughts on the NPL local leagues? Anything else? No? Look ahead to the weekend in the A-League. Boys will go on the table, get some tips. Friday night, Brisbane v Wanderers.
I'll go with a draw because Brisbane are now missing D'Agostino and Long. So
where the goal's going to come from?
Yeah, I think they'll struggle for that, and Wanderers are just Wanderers.
Yeah.
So I think a draw, yeah.
Yep.
Western Sydney.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm going to agree. Ryan Fraser puts on a clinic.
Yeah? You reckon they've turned it? Too late. Too much too late.
Too much too late. I mean, they move the ball well, but they just cannot score to save their lives. So I think they'll profit while Brisbane can't find the back of the net.
Yeah, I'm going to go a draw in this one. Saturday, Wellington v Perth.
Another draw, yeah.
Another one?
Yeah. I think Glory will get another point on the road, which would be fine. I'd like them to win, but
can't see it.
No, can't see it. No,
fair enough.
Head saying draw, heart is saying we win it.
I think we can do it.
Yeah, I think Perth can get it.
But it won't be probably great viewing.
No, it'll be shocking.
Yeah.
10 a.m. on a Saturday.
Why are they going to win it? What are they going to do?
Because
I don't know. I just reckon they might just. Yeah, I just don't make too much of Wellington.
Do you think they rate Glory?
I don't think they do. No.
Oh.
But I think that their Glory might just get a little bit of maybe a little bit of a bounce from the result against Auckland.
There'd probably be that. And if I'm someone like Adam Taggart, I'm waiting for a game where I can try and get things back on track. I know we're getting quite late into the season, but this would be a great opportunity for him to hopefully bang one or two in.
How does the Distance Derby Cup fit?
How does it sit?
Yeah.
On a shelf?
Oh, who's in line to win it?
Well, I don't know, because is it still with Wellington or what's going on there?
Well, I asked.
Not sure.
I don't know. There's silverware on the line potentially on this one.
I wouldn't have a clue. I thought they just scrapped that after what
they probably
Auckland
did.
came in.
They probably did.
Sounds about right.
Second longest distance derby.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, I'm just saying it could be something.
I've got to admit, it's not really on my radar.
Players are playing for the.
I'm sure they're fired up for it.
They're watching videos of the old trophy presentations and wishing it was them, bringing it back across on the flight. Yeah. No, I think Glory can win the game.
Yep.
Definitely. But I just really think that there's so many little deficiencies around closing players down and stopping crosses and bodies on the line and saves that should be made. There's just things that there's always just a little 1%er that they don't get right. And it gives the other team a goal, and then it's hard for them to claw back. That's just how I feel about it.
And that's fair enough. We have got Mariners and Adelaide also on Saturday afternoon.
Want to keep the theme going with a draw again?
Entertaining draw. Like one step up.
I'd say draw.
I'm going to say Mariners at home.
I don't mind that.
No,
yeah.
No, if I was leaning either way, I would lean with the Mariners. Yeah, at home and the way they're playing.
Newcastle, Auckland. This is going to be a cracker, especially at Newcastle, I feel.
Yeah, and I think we've seen one or two little frailty. Look, if they can concede 2 to Glory, they can concede 2 to Newcastle.
Yeah.
So I think Newcastle will win 2-1.
Yep, very good.
Yeah, I think we mentioned Auckland being like a bunny for the Glory, but I think Newcastle definitely have the Black Knights number. So yeah, I'm saying Newcastle at home, extending their lead, and I think that puts them well clear and in a great spot to go and take out the minor premiership.
I think Auckland spoil the party.
I'm going to pull you up on that. Stop
sorry.
calling it the minor premiership.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Stop it. Stop it.
Well, just for that, yeah, I think Auckland make the minor premiership race a little interesting. I think they do it. I just think Newcastle, their performances the last 3 weeks, they've been okay. They've clearly dropped off, and I think it's just waiting for a side like Auckland to just go in there and make it ugly.
Yeah.
And I think Steve Corica will be going, boys, we shat the bed pretty badly last week against a side that we really should have blown out. 1-0. It'll be ugly.
Yep. Sunday, victory at MacArthur.
Victory.
Yeah, victory to win.
Yeah, concur. Victory.
Yeah, victory for me as well. And then next week there will be Sydney will play Melbourne City on Tuesday.
Definitely City. I've no reason to Yeah, go.
Sydney.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
Sydney will
Yep.
win. Yeah, don't have any reason to.
Yeah.
Melbourne, the City are just shit.
Yeah.
Really,
Yeah, great. Yeah, Sydney. Yeah.
No, all good. All good. Well, there we go. We wrap things
What
up.
about
But
the,
anything else?
Matilda's prediction.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. How do you think Tilly's going to go?
I have concerns. I'd be worried about it.
Against North Korea.
That's fair.
Hey.
North Korea ranked higher than the Matildas.
Yeah, that's a bit of a surprise, that.
A little bit.
I think there's reason to be worried, especially if Steph Catley doesn't play. We saw that there was problems in that area.
I don't think she can.
No,
I think she's
She didn't fly with the rest of the squad.
Yeah, I
but
think she's ruled out.
They haven't ruled her out. I just read
Oh.
I did my research before we came.
I thought it, but isn't there an automatic 1 week?
Depends on what the severity of it
Well,
is.
she had to go off the field, so it's.
They haven't officially ruled her out, and they're not ruling out her flying over at the last minute, but she hasn't yet. And I don't think she will. I don't think she'll play.
Yeah, right.
But it does leave a big problem at left back,
At
as we
left
saw
back,
in the previous game. If one team can know how to target her, I'm not saying that South Korea, North Korea are trading secrets. Probably not that way inclined.
Just whispering through the fence.
But it is something that can be exposed, and I also think there are other defensive frailties anyway in that team. And there's no.
What do you make of Alana Kennedy at 6?
I don't mind it.
What, 2 goals. What more do you want from your 6?
No. I just find it. I find it like it's a little bit
different.
Well, especially this late in her career, I think she started off as a 6 before going back to centre back, and then
back
kind
as you're older.
Well, exactly.
End up
but,
in goal when you're 50. But yeah,
but she's got a great pass in her. She's just probably just not as agile and as quick as what she once was. I still think she's a great defender and a great defensive-minded player. But to play her as a 6 rather than a Cooney Cross or someone like that is.
Well, do you think that it was because of that situation that you had to play in there, and that it was a stopgap maybe, and I'm not something
because
that
I think she's probably in that side. She's probably one of the best passers of the ball in that side.
Yes,
Alana Kennedy.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
But do you think that she's in there because she's not good enough to be centre back and they want her in the team, or because she's the best option they had to play in that role?
Well, I wonder if you bring back Cara Cooney Cross.
Does that change the landscape?
Does Alana Kennedy go back to centre half? And do you drop someone like a Winona Heatley? I think you keep Claire Hunt.
I think you drop Heatley.
I keep Heatley. I thought she was all right in the first game.
I thought both her and Hunt were ordinary.
I think Hunt misplaced a lot of passes.
Yeah, they were poor. And it's just, you want someone in centre back, especially in the must-win game, coming out with a surety on the ball. And we need to be putting the North Koreans under as much pressure as we can. We can't be having a situation like that, like we had against South Korea, where they were pinning us on transition. So I'd be putting Alana in there.
Prediction-wise, I will say Australia will win 2-1 in extra time, and they won't have it all their own way. It'll be a very, very close game.
I agree with that.
And I think, that they'll get something in extra time.
Yeah, I think they'll find a way to get it done. When they've faced adversity before, I think they've handled it quite well. So I would anticipate a pretty strong response and at least getting through to the semi-final.
What's the score, though? Colour to the mass.
3-1.
I'll say 2-1. I think Sam Kerr does the business in extra time.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm really unsure about this now. You've put a lot of doubt into my mind.
Where are you?
Blayne
Where are
was
you
all in
leaning?
a 6-0 win.
No, I wasn't going to go for a 6-0, but I was probably
these
looking at a
nobodies.
3-1. But I mean, now that you've probably mentioned,
But they're valid.
It's fine. So that's what.
So what do you think?
I'm gonna go. I'll go with you then. I'll go with 2-1.
There you go. To the dark side.
Anything else, boys? Should we have a chat about the League of Ireland, Neil?
No, Shelburne threw away a 2-goal lead and drew at Shamrock Rovers 2-2 last night. So no, we won't.
Okay.
mention that.
Can I pose one more question?
About that. Yes,
can I pose one more
quickly.
Matilda's question? Do you start Mackenzie Arnold in goal? Because I didn't think she was that good. I think I'd play Chloe Lincoln.
That'd be a big call.
I think they will. I think they will, but I wouldn't be surprised if she didn't. If that makes sense. I think they will play her. That's their number one. But if there was to be a change, I wouldn't disagree with it.
The number one who's been under an injury cloud and hasn't played since November.
Yeah,
I think I'd much rather someone who's had game time very recently.
But is it really what you want, where you're changing a goalkeeper after such a short period?
I don't think you change goalkeeper for a game like this.
I didn't think they needed to change keeper for the South Korea game.
Yeah, they did do that. So I think there's definitely. I mean, Rasso was obviously a loss as well.
Yeah, she was back this week, isn't she?
Is she back?
I don't
Surely.
know.
Surely it's
Is
just
it-
a
was-
1 week concussion.
I don't know what the protocol is.
Well, that's what I
Yeah.
thought it was automatically 1 week. If you had to go off because of a concussion protocol, I thought it was automatically 1 week, and I thought there was a change that you could make an extra sub.
Well,
But don't quote me on that.
Yeah.
I might be having my competitions and my rules all mixed up.
Yeah, I mean, there's problems for them if they are lacking players. Like if Rasso, it is Catley as well. That they're that nucleus where we've been talking about that generation potentially being one of their last hurrahs,
Yep.
right? That
Correct.
and Kennedy fits into that as
Yep.
well.
Yeah.
Sam Kerr fits
Sam
into
Kerr,
that.
Yep.
Mackenzie Arnold's no spring chicken. You know, there's a core of that
Claire
team,
Hunt.
that are not finished, but they're definitely on
Decline.
It's the last real
yeah.
chance for major silverware.
and that comes with pressure, right?
Absolutely
You
it
know, that
does.
comes with massive pressure on home soil. A tournament that we talked them up and said that if you're not making a final, it's failure. Like that's
Yeah.
so they're hearing it. They don't listen to our podcast, but they are
Well, they
probably
might.
listening. Well, they will. But
Have a bit of-
hello if you're listening. But if they do listen to the media and
Yeah.
social media and everything else, and we've talked about it before, the commentary that comes out if they don't succeed, and the sort of things that people say about them if they draw a game or they don't perform. People waiting for them to lose, right?
Yeah.
There's
that
absolutely
element,
that pressure on them that comes with this game, and at some point you as a footballer realize this is your last chance, and there's, never mind the noise outside, there's internal pressures as well with these, and I think that you can get a melting pot of so many different factors, chuck in a couple of injuries, couple of players that are out of form. To your point again about Mackenzie Arnold, someone coming back into the team who's not fully fit, and looking like they're not fully fit as well. Mary Fowler the same in that situation. So when it comes to, because tournaments are so short, if you don't get everything right, there's potential to get everything wrong.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you can go downhill really quickly in a tournament, and all of a sudden the tournament's been and gone. I'm not saying that that's happening to them, but there is potential
There's
for
risks for
they were not great in the first game.
Yep.
Got it back on track with the second one, stumbled again and only finished second in the group. And people have been trying to make that sound like a good thing. The Socceroos did it in 2015, all of that kind of stuff. But ultimately, they're in a pressure situation on Friday night in Perth. That tight atmosphere can absolutely work for you, but it can also work against you. You know, if you go down 1-0 early and you're expecting the crowd to
groans
get
from the
behind
crowd
you,
is-
and
yep.
you hear every word that's said. So I'm not trying to put a spat on them or anything like that, but all is not well, and I think it's fair to say that that's the case based on performance and based on player selections and scenarios around them. So that's where my skepticism comes from, and that they're not just going to walk into.
Yeah,
the next round.
I think that this, and very, very quickly before we wrap things up, I think the South Korea may have put a bit of a scare through them.
Big time.
Hope so. Oh, look, I
yeah.
hope so. They were
And
winning
if
the
it
game.
hasn't, there's something seriously wrong.
I think probably the scare was going 2-1 up and then going, oh shit, we've thrown that away.
Yeah. Yeah.
That game management needs to be better.
Correct.
All of those scenarios that come when you take the lead, do you need to be a bit more pragmatic about your approach when you go 2-1 up?
Yep.
Park the bus like so many other teams have done. But Friday night will tell us a lot, obviously, because if they lose, they're out.
Yep, that will be the end of that, and it is the end of the podcast, boys. Thank you very, very much. I'll get my put my teeth back in as we exit the building. But a big thanks to ID Athletic and also Trio Homes. A big thank you to everyone for your ongoing support on the social media and, of course, listening in. Don't forget to tell everyone about the Far Post Perth podcast, now available on Spotify, on Apple, and, of course, YouTube Music. And we'll see you next Tuesday for more here on the Far Post Perth podcast.